They weren't, and I think that we talked about in the fifth, and he was really good from the beginning. And you know, after that inning where I think it took him 20 pitches, a little bit over 20 pitches to get through that inning, picked us up huge. And you know, as good as he was early, you know, after that point, proceeded to punch the side out. I think 10 pitches and 11 pitches, and he turned it up a couple notches. So right there, got some runs later to support him. So. Yeah, it was obviously a good win to have Kenley at the back end, but there are some things, obviously, defensively, you know, we got to continue to clean up.
In that fifth inning, you mentioned him striking out the side on 10 pitches. Could have been an immaculate inning. It was a questionable ball strike call there, but what was it about that inning where he seemed to take it to yet another level, even more than we're used to seeing with him?
You know, he just has that ability that, you know, sometimes where things might not go right in certain pitchers, you know, the great ones that I've seen have a way of taking it into their own hands, you know, and really kind of ramping up the intensity and the focus. And, you know, that's what he did right there. And for us to come back and respond on the offensive side was obviously a huge lift as well.
Joc has been tremendous since coming off of the disabled list. He gives a lot of credit to Wooten, but what have you seen in particular with him?
The swing change, as far as mechanically getting some things cleaned up, which he did. And he and the hitting coaches worked really well, worked really hard. But I think for the most part, he's staying square to the plate, not flying open too early. And, you know, he's winning pitches. And right there, that was, you know, he swung strike three ball, back foot slider earlier in a previous at bat. And at that point in time, Ramirez left the slider up and took advantage of it.
Escobar took exception to Morrow's hit by pitch. Obviously, it wasn't intentional with the tying run plating him there. Just your thought about what happened on that exchange?
You know, Yunel's a heck of a ball player. And in that situation, I think that what we were just looking for was a little bit of feel. You know, I think that we're trying to win a baseball game, and we got nothing but respect for those guys over there. So for one to get away, and he knew nothing about that little kind of stare down from Clayton to Yunel earlier, and he's trying to execute a pitch in, and it got away from him. So for us to even consider hitting a guy to put the tying run at the plate obviously makes no sense. So there was certainly no intent.
What was behind Clayton's stare down?
I just thought that, you know, from what I saw, he took a little exception to Escobar after that walk there, just kind of how I guess the body language. I know Clayton's intense, so, and again, I know that probably didn't mean any disrespect, so Clayton might have took a little offense to it, but that after that situation, we turned the page. There was nothing to it. We just wanted to win a game.
You mentioned before the game liking your guys' intent and approach, aggressiveness at the plate. Obviously, you get the result that you wanted tonight. Just your overall thoughts on the way that you guys attacked your at-bats tonight.
I thought we did what we've done over the course of the last 3 weeks, and we had better results than we did the last 3 days. So we ran in some good pitching. They pitched good ball games, but for us to have our ace on the mound and to still you know, stay within ourselves at the plate, have good at-bats, and we got some big homers. You know, Chase and Joc right there, and Trace had a good night. JT had a good night. So we did some things well. But again, you know, with the pitching, you know, with that is defense. So they go hand in hand, and we got to continue to, you know, clean up some things.
Any reason for removing Corey when you did, other than giving him extra rest going into tomorrow?
That was it. That was it. And I haven't made a decision on playing him tomorrow, but it was more of. We have a 5-run lead, and I guess it's just, the analogy of you're playing with house money. So we have a lead. You know, he had 4 at-bats. We could put Kike in there, which I trusted defense, and you know, you move on to the next day.
You mentioned pitching and defense, but you guys set a franchise mark in home runs for a single month. I thought about the way you swung the bat with the long ball collectively in the month of June.
The at-bats collectively, June, very good. Obviously, the results. Obviously very good, but I think that the focus, the keeping the line moving, winning pitches, I think that resulted in the long ball. So it is incredible. You look at that month and what we did offensively, and that's something that we know potentially what this lineup can do.
And Corey's thrown at home plate on the first run. You see some rust there from him on that play?
You know, I mean, it's been what, four or five games, so maybe.